Unfortunately, we did not have much problem securing our first level investment. We got in touch with Daniel's ex-boss from the GIC, so Mr. Timothy Teo. He used to work for GIC and before that JP Morgan, so very experienced in the financial markets. We actually approached him to show him our idea for core levels to get his endorsement, because we wanted someone of his age group to come in and say, this is simple enough for me to use. And then when he saw it, he actually told us about his experience being in finance over the past 40 years. He has seen how technology financial markets grew from, say, your fax machines to then your computers to, say, your Reuters and then your Bloomberg. And then he believes that core levels, being mobile, being accessible to everyone, is the next step. And within the first 2 weeks, we got our first funding from someone who's very experienced in the financial industry. And subsequently, obviously, the difficulties of any startups, similar to us, is to kind of get the word out, to kind of create market awareness, get more user acquisition, obviously, particularly without having a lot of money to burn. We didn't raise a lot, we raised enough to make a good product, and a lot of our growth, we had been getting it through organic and word of mouth. So ground zero was just friends and families, and then kind of that network. I guess when we get our first boost of users when we got featured on one of the startup article in Straits Times. So that kind of really created that first boost. And then we got another boost when we got featured again, this time on Straits Times Money. So this one reached out to a wider range of potential users. And then it really grew from there steadily. So people started telling people about it, and then we got featured on other articles in Singapore, and people do share about us. I think it's also because we added a share function within the app. We provide everybody with about 10 core levels to start with. If you want more, then you have to share. Singapore is not exactly the biggest market in terms of market size, in terms of number of users. So for us, our challenge always to kind of go out of Singapore. But entering a different market, somewhere where we are not that familiar, somewhere we don't have existing connections, is difficult. So that was, I would say, is the biggest challenge. So despite the fact that we have identified a global problem, we created a solution which works for any market, but not being physically present in the countries we want to go to, that is a problem. So this is something that we have kind of been working on over the past few months. When we get institutional investors, we wanted to work with people who have a global base. So fortunately, the funding that we secured is from a US-based VC. So I guess first step is to really tap on their network and get us in front of some of the key people there. And obviously using the money that we raised from them, we want to have a dedicated strategy for marketing in let's say the US markets. Second step is, back in Singapore, we are also working on a business partnership. It's with one of the largest brokerages in Singapore. Obviously, it is a brand name on its own, so that will become a second wave of things that we have to do, so that at least to show people overseas that, hey, we are working with a financial institution and we are validated in that way. And obviously, on the back of this, we hope to raise even more funds, much bigger round this time, and really to kind of continue focusing on that growth, to be able to eventually hire a team to be physically present in, say, New York or London. Right now, we have secured a new round of funding, so led by institutional investors. We plan to announce it at the end of the month. And using this new money, we are going to really allocate a lot of this to the growth strategy. So we have just hired our first growth marketer. So she just joined us this week. So she's helping us to plan a proper growth strategy, planning to hire one or two more over the next 2 months, and then really obviously allocating some budget on growth, be it for digital marketing, be it for kind of events, be it for advertising. So the next milestone would be obviously to get our user base up, to make it slightly more global. Right now, a lot of our growth, because it's word of mouth, has been in Singapore, but because of, I guess, social media, we do have increasing number of users from particularly US and Canada. US and Canada make up 18% of our users. That is despite having no presence there, which is very interesting. So for us as a startup in Singapore to reach out to more users there, I think we do need more help from a digital kind of marketing side. That will be our medium term to kind of get core levels, user acquisition, but more global user acquisition, particularly in the key markets like in New York, which is the biggest financial market, in London, Singapore, Hong Kong. So we target these 4 first.